Easy. You're going to really like this. It's going to unfold nicely. And if you're not raising your hand now, it doesn't matter. You will later. And whatever it is that you want to know, we're going to get to it. You'll notice that. Even if you don't know what it is right now, later on you're going to know, and later on we're going to get to it. And so let's take it easy. Let's begin right here. Someone on the Abraham Now broadcast said, could we call it the soft seat instead of the hot seat?
I love it. I am so appreciative to be here today. I've been listening to you for at least 20 years, and you have been a constant source of balance.
Nagging.
That too. Your honesty and your directness is something I've needed.
The law of attraction is always accurate. You can say stuff that you don't mean, or you can say stuff that you even think you mean, but that you mostly don't mean. But the law of attraction is not responding to your words, is it? But to what you mean. And so it's the law of attraction that is this honest factor that you're talking about, because you can't bluff it.
Right.
You can't confuse it either.
Right.
And so?
One of the things I wanted to ask you about was, I've been through a lot of loss and trouble in my life, as many people have. And I lost my father to cancer, glioblastoma, in 2019.
There are so many things that humans are so confused about, and we'll hear you, we want to. But just the idea that you think you lost your father is just so bogus.
And you're right. Because
you may have lost your connection to your father because he went to pure positive energy and you keep watching TV.
Before he passed, he was a West Point graduate, very left-brained. He would say to me, how can you be so smart and believe in all this spiritual stuff? And before he passed away, I had the opportunity to sit with him, and I said, Dad, I know you don't believe it, but send me signs. And after he passed, lights started flickering, and then I started finding dimes. And last fall, my mom's cancer came back as well. We've had a lot of cancer in my family. My father with glioblastoma. The year later, I had breast cancer. And then my last week of chemo, my mother was diagnosed with bile duct cancer. And I came back last summer, and
Anybody hear a theme?
Yeah.
And is anybody hearing the theme? Is anybody aware of the activation of the theme? Is anybody aware of what the point of attraction is about it? It's all right, because it's not easy to be physically focused and not believe, as your dad said, this.
Yeah.
We get it, that you can be so practical minded, and that's not dumb. That's logical and obvious, isn't it? Because you tend to believe what you see,
right,
and you tend to question or not believe what you can't see.
Correct.
And the thing that seems so bogus about this entire experience with Abraham, or conversation, is that we're talking to you about who you were before you got here. We're talking to you about who you have become vibrationally since you've been here. We're talking about a vibrational reality that is the precursor for all things that then manifest, because that's the way the law of attraction works. It goes from vibration to thought to the ability to articulate it, into the ability to see it with your other physical senses. In other words, manifestation is, in simple terms, thoughts turning to things. Well, before a thought has turned to a thing, everybody, not everybody, a lot of buddies, want to call it a bogus thing. I can't see it, therefore it must not exist. And so then we ask you, what about when you put the seed in the ground and you cover it up and you can't see it? So does it exist? Oh yeah, I know it's in there, but come on. But do you understand its life force? Not really, except that I know there's crops and I know there's food. So consciously, I can accept that it is in a state of becoming. And so that part of not being able to see it, I'm okay with accepting. But there's a whole lot of what I can't see that I'm not all right with accepting. And we say, well, it can't be one way about one thing and not that way about something else. Everything is in the state of becoming. Have you ever seen a slide, smear, blur of what you looked like in your very early stages? Just a little blur. And yet, everything that you became was there. It was all there. All that potential to become was there. So humans accept that. They accept a little fetus, and they accept it becoming bigger, and they accept it getting fingers and toes and tongues and stuff. They accept that kind of becoming. So why is it such a stretch to understand that there was something before the smear? That there was a vibrational smear, so to speak, that there was a vibrational reality that existed that became more and more and more. This is not a hard concept. In fact, anything other than that is really the bogus thought. Everything is in a state of becoming. And so we know we don't need to convince you, and we don't need to convince your dad anymore, because half of what we just said, he just said. All of his brilliance and his intellect has long ago clicked into place, and so he's on board with all of this. And what he would like you to stop doing is holding him to who he once was and let him be who he now is. Esther says that to her staff. Remember when I used to be ornery all the time? Well, that was then. This is now. Remember that day I rode into the office on my broom? Remember that day? Remember that day? Well, I'd like you to forget that day. I'd like you to pretend that never happened, and I'd like you to hope and pray that it never happens again. Let me be who I have become is really a big part of everything that we're going to be talking about here today. And it starts with your dearly not ever departed. It seems like they're gone, but they're not gone. This room is full of them, of us, full of us, full of your non-physical, expanded, evolved selves.
And I felt that after he passed, lights started flickering that had never flickered, and I started finding dimes just randomly, and I don't use cash. And when my mom became sick and went on hospice last year, and I quit my job to take care of her, I was on my way to a conference. And I talked to my dad when I'm driving, and I said, Daddy, I haven't seen any dimes in a while. I would love if you would send me a dime, but don't leave it like in the street. I won't know it's from you. 3 hours later, I was leaving the conference, and they had just catered lunch. And there were probably, 6 boxes, 12 each, of half sandwiches from a local restaurant. And I picked one, and I got in the car, and I took a bite, and it was disgusting. I didn't realize it didn't have mayonnaise or mustard or anything on it. But I was really hungry, and I thought, I'll take a second bite. So I took a second bite, and my tooth hit something. It's in my pocket. It was a dime. And, it was in my pocket. I think I may have lost it. But anyway.
It's not in your pocket?
It was in my pocket.
You need to stand up and find it.
It's not in my pocket.
Because this is
This is a different time.
You have to find it because it's your wait. You have to
different time,
no,
but
wait.
that's not the one.
You have to find it because it's your key.
But
Wait. You have to find it because it's your.
Is it down there on my seat? I don't know. I had it in my pocket.
Would you listen to us?
Yes, I'm sorry.
You have to find it because it's your key relationship with your father, not. If you had found it, you know what we were going to do with it?
Throw it away.
We were going to throw it as far as Esther's muscles would throw it, but the universe took care of that for us. Because
I swear it was in my pocket right before I came in here.
Your father would like you to cut it out with the stupid dimes. That you would let your relationship be more than constantly needing more evidence that he exists and that he's aware of you. And he's not tired of it. Esther's behaving that way because she thinks that that's what we're trying to say. And we never get tired of supporting you in whatever way you want to be supported. But really, a stupid dime? Really?
But it was in my sandwich.
So what does that mean? That means you were so resistant to really accepting the ever-presence of infinite intelligence, including the clarity of your Father, who is aware of you and who is integrated with you and who is rooting with you and is focused with you and who is calling you, who is part of your law of attraction team that's summoning you in the direction of what you want, and you're looking for a dime. Really. And what that says is, I need constant evidence that this isn't bogus. I need constant evidence that this isn't bogus. And we say, let it be more than that. Let it be source energy. Let it be the intertwining of two non-physical beings who have been intertwined for many more than this lifetime. Let it be the pathway to your conscious, deliberate evolution.
I hear you.
Really?
I do.
Can you feel how And we really appreciate this conversation so much. Can you feel how, without meaning to, you have been supporting with your rapture over a dime the very thing that you thought your father was saying to you in all this time? It's not real, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. And now what he's wanting to say is, it's way more than a dime, honey.
Yeah.
It's way more than a dime.
Yeah.
Don't need the evidence anymore. Just utilize it to your advantage. Utilize it to your advantage. Do you know what beliefs do to you? Do you know that a belief is a thought that you continue to think? Which means a thought that you continue to think is a continual activation of your point of attraction. Which means anything that you believe, you're in a constant state of attracting the evidence of it to you. Wouldn't you like to attract evidence of something other than cancer? Wouldn't you like to attract evidence of something other than unwanted things? Wouldn't you like to be the chooser that you were born to be?
Absolutely.
And we're not making fun of you, because we know it's thrilling when you see the dime. It is. It's thrilling when a manifestation happens. It's thrilling when you are standing consciously in the middle of a moment when a doubt goes away and a knowing replaces it. That's why you wanted to tell that story, and that's why everybody loved the story, and we're glad you didn't break your tooth.
Me too.